Hi, I'm Dan Green, and this is Crash Course World History. Today we're going to be talking about what if JFK had survived the assassination.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born on May 29th, 1917 in Brooklyn, Massachusetts. And he would graduate from Harvard in 1940 and later on be part of the U.S. Senate in his own home state. He would in 1961 become the 35th President of the United States of America and as well as the first Catholic president. John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963 in Dallas, Texas. Now this is infamous and was taught throughout schools, is mentioned repeatedly, and is referenced in pop culture. But what would have happened if he had survived? Let's go to the thought bubble. Would things change if he had survived the assassination? Not initially. Now, of course, Lee Harvey Oswald would still be arrested for attempted murder, and the president would have evacuated from Texas and leave on Air Force One.
After JFK was assassinated, he was replaced as president by Lyndon B. Johnson. Shortly after, LBJ passed the Civil Rights Act that JFK had been trying to have passed for years.
You see, Lyndon B. Johnson pretty much knew how the Congress worked. He knew how the system worked, and he knew how to, play the game. He was able to convince other people by either just being intimidating or just threatening them. He was kind of scary that way. He was able to also get the bill to pass because of JFK's own death. You see, he told them that if they didn't pass the bill, they wouldn't be honoring JFK. Now, the bill did barely pass, but it still worked. They were still able to, and this was definitely a step forward. So in our own timeline today, it worked much better. Because what would have happened if JFK had survived? Well, it would have been a lot harder to get the bill to pass. It would have taken longer. There would have been more violence in the streets, fire bombings. There would have been more assassinations. There would have been more police attacking other citizens. And it would just be really a bloodier path.
For the same reasons, things like Medicare, public housing, and Medicaid wouldn't have been passed for many more years if John F. Kennedy had been in office.
Mr. Green, yes, me from the past.
So JFK was diagnosed with Addison's disease, so he would have shortly died afterwards if he wasn't.
Well, me from the past. Shut up! But some things probably would have never really have changed, even if JFK had died or not. One of them probably would have been the space race between the Soviet Union and the United States of America.
On May 25th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy announced that they were going to have the first man to be on the moon. This was due to Kennedy dealing with the pressure of catch-up with the Soviet Union during the space race.
So was JFK a mutant?
Now, a special report from Matt Thompson. Take it away, Matt.
Kennedy's reaction to situations like those in Laos and Cuba show that he was a fan of shying away from conflict and de-escalating situations. For this reason, America would have had far less involvement in the Vietnam War as it did under Lyndon B. Johnson. If America hadn't been involved in the war, the lives of 60,000 American soldiers and over 600,000 Vietnamese civilians could have been saved. Without participation in the Vietnam War, America's economy would have been in a much better state and wouldn't have entered the economic downturn that it did in the late 60s and early 70s, which continues to have effects to this day. But the most important consequence of JFK surviving his assassination would be that Magneto never would have gone to jail, and the entire future of the X-Men would have...
Shut up! Was JFK's assassination a silver lining in disguise? I don't really know. I mean, in any timeline, there's good causes, there are bad causes. Sure, things like the Civil Rights Movement might have taken longer, but doesn't mean it wouldn't have not happened. What would have happened if he was still around during the Vietnam War? After all, Lyndon B. Johnson didn't get a lot of positive things from that, so maybe he would have not been likable. Sure, he was one of the highest points during the Cold War, but that could have changed. But in any timeline, there's going to be problems because you can't please everyone. I'm Dan Green. Thanks for watching.
So was JFK a mutant?